it down, speak louder. That was my name. Stack. Eagerly leaving the scene to go and chase his dream. On a mission wishing ever since he was only 15. With sincerity, I'll never give in to the popularity. The clarity's a rarity. When you're compared to me, now where were we? Where were we? And I don't mean to be cocky, but I'm never doing this sloppy. And all that hating, it's not me. So I'm original, no copy. Can't copy my swag. I'm spitting liquid, twisting like my name was Mickey Fast. And I'm the 11th freshman on the cover, double XL. Didn't get any recognition cause I forgot how to spell. Fixed it with the quick systems, now I gotta spit quick as hell. So now I'm doing it well. Ain't hard, but I bet you can tell. And I'm locking my method, I said.
What is up, sports fans? So, in case you are not watching the draft currently, we just got some huge news as Eagles fans, as you can see below. They swung not one, but two trades today. And the first one was a trade that involved Houston. We jumped up 2 picks from 15 to 13 to select defensive tackle Jordan Davis. Davis is known to be a space eater. He's the type of guy who he's going to be perfect for Jonathan Gannon's 2-gap defense. He's going to eat up blocks. He's going to allow TJ Edwards to roam sideline to sideline without getting offensive linemen in his face. Him and Javon Hargrave should be a very interesting pairing going forward. We already saw that Fletcher Cox was released and then re-signed to a 1-year deal. So we now know that Davis is ultimately going to be his replacement long term. I'm shocked to see it. I was surprised to see the move up because ultimately we've already traded some of our draft pick capital in this season to get more picks in the future to make sure that we have enough enough capital to go out and potentially get a quarterback if Jalen Hurts does not progress as we expect him to. With that being said, we went ahead and traded 3 draft picks to hop up 2 picks to leapfrog Baltimore, who we expected to draft Davis at pick number 14 if he was available. Personally, I really wish we had instead seen the Eagles draft Kyle Hamilton, but it is what it is. Instead, we get Jordan Davis, which is perfectly cool. Jordan Davis fills a big need for us. Like I said, Jonathan Gannon likes that 2-gap defense. He's the type of guy where he wants his defenders to eat up blocks. He's not looking for his interior defensive linemen necessarily to produce pressures on every given play. But I think adding Davis to this rotation will be key. He's a guy who's played in the A-gap and the B-gap. So he can play either that Hargrave position, which is like a true nose tackle, or he can play that other position, the position that Cox plays. And he can basically just be a true third defensive tackle and step in wherever somebody needs to catch a break. But onto the more interesting and bigger piece of news from tonight, and the news that's got a smile on my face. We just acquired A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans and immediately signed him to a 4-year, $100 million deal with $57 million guaranteed. He is going to pair with Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal. Oh, man. I'm getting so excited just thinking about our offense at this point. A.J. Brown is one of those guys that I don't want to say he's like Deebo Samuel, but he's very similar. I was looking for the Eagles to draft Treylon Burks because I'm a huge fan of that running back wide receiver hybrid that everybody's starting to use now. But instead of going getting Treylon Burks, we went ahead and traded for A.J. Brown, and then Tennessee replaced Brown with Burks. So it was kind of funny to see. Ultimately, we gave up our number 18 pick and the 101st overall pick to acquire Brown, which honestly I don't think is a lot to ask for. We saw Devontae Adams go for a first and a second. We saw Tyreek Hill go for 5 different draft picks. It was definitely a position of need. We sought out every veteran wide receiver that was available in the market this offseason, and we simply struck out everywhere we looked, whether it was Robert Woods or it was I almost said Alshon Jeffrey. Allen Robinson, who ended up landing with the Super Bowl champion Rams. There was multiple different targets that we tried to acquire, and we didn't get any of them. So this is kind of Howie Roseman making good on his promise to improve the wide receiver group. And I think this is huge. This is huge. I was saying this offseason that if we went and got Allen Robinson, we would be a Super Bowl contender, given the fact that we made the playoffs in year one with Hurts as a starter and nobody expected it. Now we add two very prominent building blocks to our defense. And ultimately, I think we're going to see a very deep playoff push by the Eagles this season. And I expect to see a lot more prominent names coming into Philly tomorrow. I hope they address the weak side linebacker position. We definitely still need a cornerback. We definitely could use some safety help. I'd be all right with some defensive in-depth. Bottom line, we still have a lot of needs. So it's interesting to see that we have already traded away a total of 5 draft picks for 2 players, given that we've just witnessed the only the first round. I mean, we still have 2 days of drafting to go, and we know how Howie Roseman likes to move up and down the board. Maybe he trades back into the 4th or the 5th round later on, or the 3rd round. Regardless, it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of the draft shakes out for Philadelphia. I'm already pretty freaking amped up, man. A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis, welcome to Philadelphia. We're happy to have you. That's all I've got for you guys today. Definitely tune in tomorrow at 7:15 for episode 3 of my Denver Gold, or making a case to bring a USFL team to Denver. It's part 3 in a 3-part series. So if you didn't catch the first 2 parts, they're up on Spotify now. They're linked on my Facebook if you haven't seen them. They're on Twitter. They're all over the place at this point. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll be live on Colorcast. If you have that app, go ahead and check that out. If not, you'll have to wait till about 9 o'clock when it goes live on Spotify. But either way, just to recap the news in case you're just coming in and joining me, Jordan Davis was our first-round selection at pick 13 after Philadelphia swung a trade with Houston. We gave up our 4th-round pick and 2 5th-round picks, as well as our 16th overall selection to leapfrog Baltimore to select the Space Eater, Jordan Davis. And then at wide receiver, with Treylon Burks still on the board, we swung a trade with Tennessee to instead acquire A.J. Brown. We sent the 101st overall pick in the 3rd round, as well as the 18th overall pick in the 1st round to Tennessee in exchange for A.J. Brown. We immediately signed him to a 4-year, $100 million contract with $57 million guaranteed. And as I stated before, he will immediately round out a wide receiver group that has desperately needed somebody who's a little bit bigger body, who can play that X wide receiver position. And again, I am super excited. I think this is a huge move. I'm super glad Howie Roseman went and made this move. I didn't even know Brown was on the trade block, but I guess the whole fact that he wanted a big-time deal was why he was available, and we ultimately see Philadelphia willing to give him the money that Tennessee was not. Bottom line, thank you, Tennessee, because I definitely think Brown is a premier wide receiver in this league. He's still got a lot of room to grow as a player, and I ultimately am very excited to see him in Sirianni's offense with Devontae Smith on the other side, Dallas Goedert eating up the middle of the field, and hopefully finally have some running lanes for Miles Sanders, and the defense won't be keying on the run game all the time. But that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Definitely stay tuned. Like I said, tomorrow, part 3, making a case for Denver to have a USFL team once again. Catch that on Colorcast Live, 7:15 a.m., or afterward on Spotify. If you have not followed us on either one of those places now, it's Shady Sports Net on Colorcast and Shady Sports Network on Spotify. Long story short, network wouldn't fit on the Colorcast name. But anyway, you guys have a great night. I hope you're enjoying the draft so far. It's been a lot of fun, lots of curveballs thrown at us, but this has definitely been an interesting draft season, and I, like I said, am extremely amped up for the 2022 season, now with A.J. Brown and Jordan Davis on board with my Philadelphia Eagles. I'll catch you guys in the next video.